Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is MAIRA, and in today's video, as you see from the title, I'm going to do a start to finish set using nail forms. I basically wanted this video to be focused on how to apply nail forms and so on. So let's get started. The first thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing my not polished nail forms, and as you see on the back, it has like those 3 dents or those 3 curves on each side. What I do is I start from the bottom. So I basically pinch the 2 bottom rounded, I'm not sure what you like to call them, but the round part of the bottom. I like to grab the ones closest to the bottom of the form, pinch those together so they're like aligned perfectly. Then I put them into my practice finger, and then I close the middle dents and then the ones closest to the top. And I basically have to make sure that the forms are not only like not sticking at the bottom, like together more than the dents, because if you do, then you create the forms to be more closed, and then your form will basically create a different shape. The shape that I'm going for is like a nice square or tapered square. If you want stiletto, then you would pinch it up a little bit more, but I basically do it enough to where it sticks together. It doesn't come open, but I don't want it to lose its form or its shape. The shape that I'm going for is tapered square or square, and so I'm just going to do it as little as possible. And then I put it into the practice finger. Now, the practice finger is very different than a real human finger. You might think that it's fairly easy to use the practice form with the practice silicone hand, but it's actually different because it creates like an unnecessary dent between where the fake natural nail is and the form. So it creates a dent, and it makes it a little bit more complicated to put your acrylic. So you have to be very careful of that too, and keep that in mind. The practice hand and the quote-unquote natural nail that I'm using are from VEEDA. Everything is linked down below in the description box. The acrylics are all from Not Polish. The forms are from Not Polish. And the acrylic brush that I'm using is also from Not Polish. Now the monomer is from KIARA Sky. And what I always like to do, and I definitely recommend you doing, is creating a base using clear acrylic. I like to do this, number one, because of that dent that I'm talking about that it leaves between the natural nail and the forms. But I also like to do this because if your client comes in wanting a fill, you don't have to like take the entire nail off. You can just do a fill. But if you just lay down the colored acrylic right away without that clear acrylic underneath, you're going to be able to see the colors from under. And when you create that base with clear, you're able to file it down the next time they come around for a fill, file it down all the way to the clear acrylic, and then you just start new, and you're able to see that new color underneath versus the old set's color. And so that's why I like to do that. It also gives me like a base of where I'm going to put my colors in, especially if you're not doing a solid color and you're doing something like I'm doing here, a like tricolor ombre, which is, you know, already kind of complicated on its own. And then since you don't have like a nail tip to base it off of, if you were to just go in with the colored acrylic, it would be kind of hard to just eyeball it out, right? Especially as a beginner. So I like to lay down my clear acrylic as perfect as I can, with the exact shape and the exact length that I'm going to be doing. I always love to do extra long nails, and so that is why I always do a clear base to just eyeball it off of that. Nail forms have numbers on the sides, and it all depends on how long your client or you or whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing the nails on, how long they want it. But you also have to keep in mind that everybody has different nail beds. Some of them are longer than others, and so the final product may not look as the same. So if you stop at a number 7 for me, but you have smaller nail beds, a number 7 is going to be completely different on you. So, you know, all of these things you have to keep in mind. But once you start like practicing and start like seeing the difference, it's super easy to do after a while. Nail forms are probably like my favorite thing because it kind of like, I like looking at the process of the acrylic application on nail forms. Nail tips obviously are just like a tip that's already pre-shaped. You just have to cut it down to your desired length and then apply acrylic. And of course, I love nail tips, but nail forms are some of my favorite because it kind of like brings out that creativity in you. It brings out like another, how do I say, like another thing that you can do. Not everybody can do nail forms. Not everybody likes nail forms, and not everybody likes nail tips, and vice versa. So when you are able to do nail forms as a working nail tech, you're able to price your sets differently. When I was taking clients, I would of course charge more for nail forms. It's a different thing that you have to learn. It's a different, I'm like losing, like I know I have the word on my, like the tip of my tongue, but I hope you guys know what I'm saying. Like it's a different thing that you have to have under your belt for you to be able to do a full set with nail forms. It's something super cool. It's something that takes skill. There you go. That's what I was looking for, skill. And it's something really cool to learn. When I went to cosmetology school, I actually didn't, like, how do I say, like I wasn't confident enough to do nail forms straight out of cosmetology school, even though we learned it. So what I did was, after I got my license, I actually took a course for sculpting, and it was amazing. It was a 1-day course, but I mean, I learned so much, and I I literally started practicing as soon as I got out of that class, and I started doing like the acrylic application videos, doing sculpted work, and I just loved it. Now, there is also so many different nail forms out there. The ones that I started working with, and it's probably the reason why I got so frustrated with nail forms in the beginning in cosmetology school and even before, was the ones that you can get off of Amazon. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like those super short gold ones, and I don't know, those just frustrated the heck out of me. So like literally I would practice it and I would get super frustrated. So just know that there's so many other ones out there. And I think I've tried like 4 or 5 different nail forms from different brands. And some of them are like stickier than others. Some of them are longer than others. Some of them are just like different colors. So, you know, make sure that you know what is out there. And that's why I like doing these videos, because Not Polished came out with these nail forms not too long ago. Like I wouldn't say like yesterday, but it wasn't that long ago. And they're amazing. They're some of my favorite nail forms to use. They're super sticky, super beginner friendly. The length is just the best, because like that is my type of length. You can of course do them shorter, or you can double them up and do them longer if you want. But this is like the perfect length for me. And the color, red and yellow, are my 2 favorite colors. And so red holographic, yes. And so I've been using them nonstop ever since I got them. They're just super pretty and super easy to work with. I definitely recommend you using them. And of course, practicing. That's all you have to do. If you don't feel confident enough to do sculpted nails on a client, that's why I shared my practice finger is from VEEDA. You guys can use my discount code MAIRA, and just practice on your practice hand. Practice on yourself. Practice on a family member. Before you start taking clients, I wouldn't say like do 1 set of nails and then start on a client right away, because obviously like you're not going to want to, but like practice on, there's so many other things to practice on before you actually start taking clients. And I 100% recommend you using the VEEDA practice hand or practice finger. And so now that I filed, I am top coating it with my CRAFTSXNINE No Wipe Gel Top Coat, which is from my brand, and you guys can shop craftsby9.com. And honestly, on the camera, you can't really tell that it's 3 colors, but I swear it is. You guys saw me using 3 different colors, but you can kind of tell like when you're seeing it in different angles. But yeah, you guys, I hope you guys learned something from today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on my post notifications to get notified every time I post a new video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.